Not all Hollywood stories are all glamour. I've told you before that I was lucky enough to meet and interview a lot of people that worked with the former Hollywood sex bomb of 20th Century Fox. That's right, not Marilyn Monroe. Met a lot of people who interviewed and met her, or indeed was good friends with her associates, that sort of stuff. But we're talking about the ubiquitous, of course, the gorgeous Jane Mansfield. Now, on this day, literally, Jane Mansfield was in London making a film out at Elstree called Too Hot to Handle. Certainly was when you look at these particular costumes. And Jane herself, as you know, was one of those great people, a very big self-publicist. She knew the value. I mean, we talk about branding and things today, don't we? But Jane Mansfield knew about branding. She knew what Jane Mansfield was selling. I don't know if you know this, but many years ago, at the height of her fame, there were even Jane Mansfield hot water bottles. How soft. Yes, you see. You forget these things. There were dolls. People were far ahead. We talk about it now, but everybody's done it before. It's nothing new. Of course, Jane would go anywhere for a fee, let's be honest. And she did, because literally on this day in West London, she opened the now famous Chiswick flyover. Yes, apparently she called it a sweet little flyover. Yes, of course you do. For the equivalent of today's money, around about £5,000, Jane rocked up looking like only Jane Mansfield could. Of course, there was a lot of controversy around Jane being asked to open this particular, item, if you like, whatever you want to call it. This is because a person, literally a big minister in the Houses of Parliament, felt, why is an American actress opening such a prestigious thing? This was going to give Londoners, West Londoners, a bigger chance to zoom through the city. So that was the idea. You get the picture. Not only that, there was a little bit of drama attached as ever to that particular story, because, according to that well-placed source, you see, in the Bollinders of, get this, of the flyover, which you call a highway, freeway, I believe, many people else around the world, apparently some of the victims of the infamous Cray twins were embedded in cement in there. It's a great story if it's true, and I don't mean that cruelly, but it always adds to that sort of infamous Cray twins glamour, whatever you want to call it, for those two people. No truth in that story at all. Well, it's just a myth that goes around. But of course, Jane did a splendid job, as I say, picked up just short of a few grand, made everybody absolutely charming. She was a very busy girl at this particular period here in the United Kingdom, because she also popped up, as we told you recently, to turn on the infamous illuminations in Blackpool, and then was busy making the movie alongside the horror star Christopher Lee as well. Jane Mansfield's movie, Too Hot to Handle, wasn't too hot to handle for the public. Sadly, it was a bit of a box office flop. But if there's one thing that Jane Mansfield learned, it was how to make sure you didn't forget her. And it's nice, as I often say here on the show, to remember those wonderful people like Jane who have entertained us and gone way too soon. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.